What's up, everybody? This is Dal Stone here, and today, welcome. It's been nice. It's nice to be back. Today, we're going to be going over some production schedule stuff, and this is pre-production. We're going to be talking about the Wild West challenge here. You'll notice the background image again. I didn't create this image. This is an image that got off of YouTube or Google and ArtStation website. So not often do we talk about the pre-production phase of things. So obviously already, ArtStation right now is on phase 2, but phase 1 was called concepting, the concepting phase, which is part of pre-production, right? So I wanted to kind of go over how I do scheduling for projects, and then this kind of bleeds into professional as well, right? As in how games are created, right? There's a pre-production phase for video games, and there's planning and stuff like that. And how does planning work? You go into work and you have a task, right? And how is it broken down, and how does it look like inside a schedule? Okay, so again, not the most fun thing to kind of learn, but I think it's really important to kind of learn if you're an artist, especially if you're learning and wanting to become one, to kind of get some of the ideas here. So first and foremost, we know what the start and end date to this Wild West challenge, right? So we knew that April 30th was when concept phase was going to be finished, and that's when production artists can start to create their can start to join the challenge and start to create their assets, right? Or create their scenes, or whichever category they choose to enter. So right away I plot in the start point and the end date. So that's what you have right there, right? And there are the dates. And then what you want to do is, the next thing you want to do is you want to kind of like, for me, I knew that this was about 8 weeks, right? I looked at the calendar. I was like, okay, this is about 8 weeks. So what that means is we can clearly identify what the midpoint is, right? So the midpoint is about 4 weeks. So for me, I created that what we call in the games industry and stuff like that, a milestone. Okay, so I created a milestone right inside the middle, and that's where and then again we'll set goals and stuff like that afterwards on what we want to achieve by that time. But for this timeline, I just put a bigger circle identifying that it's a milestone, and that is the date, right? And then after that, you plot in the middle point of that as another milestone, and then I plugged in another one there. So every 2 weeks, I've created a milestone, and it just worked out great in that way. Okay, and then after that, I wanted to break it down even further, right? I wanted to break it down to every week. Every week, I want to have a goal. I want to have what it is that I want to achieve by the end of that week. So I went in and I started plotting in the little 1 week, periods before the 2 week milestones, right? So there you go. I start plugging in the milestones here. Okay, and then I'm just going to, sorry. Okay, cool. Take that out. Okay. So once I started to do that, right, I started plotting in each week, what is it that I want to achieve? Okay, so I got back from vacation about May 3rd. So this week was kind of a write-off. I had to figure out, okay, what can I realistically do in the next few days on my spare time when I'm not spending time with family, right? So I said by the May 7th, which is tomorrow from this recording, I wanted to finish the pre-production planning, which is scheduling and the reference boards, right? But I'll be honest with you, I only have literally a couple more hours tonight maybe to kind of finish that off. So I might not be able to do the reference boards for all the props that I'm going to be creating for this challenge. But yeah, so I said, this is what I wanted to do. And then I decided, all right, by May 14th, right? I want to be able to have a rough block out in sculpting. So at least at the part one of sculpting kind of started. So underneath that, I just wrote kind of like what my idea is. So like simple block out to figure out. Hold on, just kind of simple block out. What piece? This is where I need to figure out what pieces need to be broken up in Maya, so that's easy to bring into ZBrush, and then bringing those pieces into ZBrush for the first pass or first part of sculpting. Totally skipped that. And then by May 21st, I wanted to do continue the sculpting phase, and then I want to be able to start on the first part of the retopoing phase of the rifle. Okay, and then after that, by May 28th, which is the midpoint, I wanted to be able to finish the retopoing, finish the texturing, and a lighting pass in Marmoset. And again, I'm not going to do anything fancy with this lighting pass. I'm just going to do something as like a pretty simple 3-point lighting, I think. And if I get really swamped, then I'm just going to do HDR lighting pass in Marmoset. Okay, and then on June 4th, I wanted to do by June 4th, I'm going to start off the revolver and the block out and the sculpting of the revolver, and then so simple block out to figure out so again the same kind of phase as this one over here, but I think this one I actually want to finish the sculpting because I'm noticing that the rifle is a little bit of a bigger asset, which means you'll need to put a little bit more detail in certain things, whereas in the revolver it's a smaller piece. I'm probably not going to be putting in as much detail compared to the rifle, and because I've now gone the workflow down, right, my speed for the project should be going quicker, so I'm accounting for that as well. And then retopering, texturing, and lighting. And again, I might just end up using the same lighting scene as the rifle, and then I just throw in the revolver, which would save me tons of time. So as long as I create something that looks really nice, as long as I do something really nice in Marmoset, and I create a really good scene, it should be relatively quick. And then the sawed-off shotgun, block out and sculpting, starting June 18, right? And again, these concepts is from Daniela. Hold on, let me just give her a quick plug here. I should have had this ready to go. Yeah, I'll give her a nice quick plug after I finish this presentation, and then obviously this is the end date, July 2nd, 2018. I gotta have everything ready to go, retopple, texturing, and lighting, and final presentation. Again, smaller asset compared to the rifle. I now have done this workflow 2 times now, so it should make this a little bit quicker. And so that should be it, right? And again, this is like super important, just so that. Okay, so I'm gonna do the quick end notes here. So let's be honest here. Artists are not expected to make schedules like this. Okay, that is the job of the project manager, right? So, sorry. So let's see. Hold on here. Did I? Yeah, like you're not expected. Sorry, what was going on here? You're not expected to make something elaborate like this, right? Like a nice little graphic design kind of thing. This is more for me to kind of show you, like what a production schedule might look like. And for me, I just wanted to do in Photoshop just because to make it a little bit more fancier. But yeah, that's the job and the role of the project manager. At EA, we call a lot of project managers development directors. So they're usually in charge of that. When you see a graph like this, it's usually in like a big team meeting where the producers and stuff like that are showing the team like, hey, this is what we're going to be showing the execs in our pitch, right? And then they kind of show, instead of like, this is, instead of finish, it's going to be like final, right? Like, this is the release date for the game, and this might be beta, this might be alpha, this might be early access or something, right? And the different milestones in between it. So that's kind of how it might be inside a video game, or even more granular. It might be like, game is approved, pre-production, production, release, right? Something like that. All right, next one. Typically, a well-designed timeline schedule like this is used, like I said, in the upper level to pitch the game to execs. Because let's be real here, most project management games, they use project management software, kind of similar to like Microsoft Project, for some of those who and there's tons of project management softwares out there, and most of them don't spit out cool looking kind of graphs and stuff like that. I think that this is a really good habit to make a schedule, so that if you're falling behind early in production, right? This way, if you didn't hit a week goal, let's say 2 weeks in, right, then you already know that you have to scope back your stuff, or you're gonna have to start working more hours on the project. So like video game development, when you start to fall behind, right, it's not good. So something has to give, right? And most times it's crunch, like you're working a lot more hours into it. But for me, I mean, this is a fun project for me. This isn't something that I'm not getting paid for this. This is more of like a fun challenge for me. So it would probably just mean that I'd have to scope down. So whether that means no sculpting in ZBrush and just doing all my details in Substance Painter, like all these things might play a factor, right? Typically, I make a rough timeline and schedule, writing it in my online notes. So typically, I don't go through this process. Like, I don't go and create a beautiful graph and little notes and stuff like that for all my personal projects, right? This is a one-off. I figured this would be cool to kind of show people the ideas and what they might see if they go into a studio. Typically, I literally just do this, but instead of this, I just write, all right, July or May 28, I want to have this done, and that's it, right? Or I'll write it into my phone schedule or something, right? Like I'll mark it and I'll make a different color or something. That's honestly all I do. So don't spend that much time on this. And this is the last point that I have to say, is I spent way too much time on this, right? To make this presentation, to make this video, I put like 3 hours doing this instead of doing my pre-production, which is reference gathering and stuff like that, and making my reference boards. I actually spent time making this presentation, this video. So but I said to myself, if I make a really good pre-production scheduling video, then I can always refer back to it. And then if someone ever asks me, how do I schedule my time, I can just be like, here, look at this video. So hopefully this is helpful for any new and upcoming and aspiring artists. And good luck in the challenge. If you're in the challenge, follow me or subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys again next time. Oh, sorry, hold on, before I do that, the concepts is off of Daniela Zeman. Sorry if I butchered your name, Daniela Zeman. So go check her out. Check my submission. I gave her a shout out and all that stuff. So it's based off of her concepts. Really good concepts. Beautiful stories for all these weapons. I dig it, and that's why I chose to do it. So see you guys again next time. Peace out.